This week we're in Jokkmokk, one of the most northern regions of Sweden, and the biggest one as well. It's about the size of half of Switzerland and has a little less than 3,000 inhabitants, so it means there's a lot of space for untouched nature.
Jokkmokk is just north of the Arctic Circle. This means that I need to be prepared for the cold nights, which sometimes can go as low as minus 30 degrees in the autumn. In this episode, I'm in Jokkmokk, a unique town surrounded by totally raw nature up above the Arctic Circle in Sweden. Working with local ingredients, I'm high up on a mountain preparing a meal made up of bear meat and local beetroot. I'll be making a dish made out of reindeer and a certain type of berry found in just a few parts of the world. And I'm out near the water, cooking a freshly caught, delicate fish with some wild herbs and berries. My friend Dan, who lives here in town, is preparing a city guy such as myself for my culinary trip around the area.
Dan, do you tuck the shirt in or do you leave it out?
Tuck it in.
Tuck it in. Just like Grandad, all tucked in, all nice and cozy and comfy.
Thumbs up.
Yeah?
You would think that little grows this close to the North Pole, but you'd be very surprised. Jokkmokk has fresh air, clean water, and totally untouched nature that provide a rare luxury to visitors, but a way of life for the locals. There are edible plants everywhere that I would be hard-pressed to find in other Nordic countries.
I'm going to take this one. Absolutely beautiful. This will come in handy when it comes to cooking later on.
Jokkmokk is one of the areas where the Sami live, Scandinavia's indigenous people. Jokkmokk also works as a living culture center for Samic tradition, and I'm meeting up with Gunda and Katarina, who are going to teach me more about the Samic culture and traditional food.
Everything in the nature has a soul, and one of the strongest souls is the bear. So it's really important how you respect the bear. The bear meat is so strong, not in the taste, but in the soul. So to protect yourself, the first chew you have to bite through the ring.
Through the ring?
Yeah. And then you can eat as usual.
Would you get the spirit from the bear by eating the meat as well?
Yeah,
some of the spirit.
Yeah.
After the bear ceremony, Katarina is trying to teach me how to sound like a forest grouse. But I think I sound more like a chicken with a cold. Maybe it's just better to leave it to the professionals.
I have a lot of things to learn. Today I decided to get myself to the National Park of Sarek, and it's not exactly very close by, so I've decided to take a helicopter ride instead. And hopefully I'll be able to do a little bit of cooking out there as well. The Sarek National Park is one of those rare places in the world that I've always wanted to visit. So, just see what happens. Absolutely unreal up here. Like a childhood dream come true. Oh, we got a moose there. It's 4 yards.
In this area, there is more wildlife and more predators than anywhere else in Sweden. So if you want to get an up-close experience with raw nature, this is the place to be.
You want to treat yourself to something you'll never forget in your life. You get in one of these and you take a ride up here. It'll be something you'll cherish for life. You know it was too much.
All right, so here I am, right in between Jotjosvage and Tjolta Valley right here, and that's Tjolta Peak right behind us. And to top it all off, I'm going to cook something that I've never cooked before. This is bear. I'll have a beautiful fillet here of bear that I'm going to fry in the pan. And on this altitude, we'll see how it goes. A little bit of butter here. I'm just going to place the fillet in the pan. A sensational smell from the bear meat. I'm going to cook some almond potatoes together with the meat here to see if they can soak up that flavor. It's a little bit cold up here. It's quite nippy. 1 or 2 degrees below zero, but no wind really. And I got some blueberries here. This is just pressed blueberry juice. No sugar added. It's a little bit like wine. So I'm going to use this to make a sauce together with the crowberries and a few angelica seeds. And then I'll serve it with some cloudberry jam. I also want to add some sweet to it as well. I've got a nice big piece here. They go in the pan. A little bit more butter. Oh, look at the meat. Beautiful. Medium rare to rare. I'll leave it at that and let it rest over here for a little while. I've got some nicely chopped beetroots and some chopped onions here as well. So just soften up the onion and the beetroot. And then I'll add a few seeds of angelica. This is one spice and one herb that I've really fallen in love with. It's very, very good. Time to add the wine or the blueberries. Det var ju gott. That was good. Beautiful. Yeah, come.
This is Ricky.
Ricky.
This is Samba.
Samba.
Mieke.
Hans is a professional jazz musician from Amsterdam who relocated to Jokkmokk 10 years ago and became a cheesemaker. Hans works with a very particular breed of mountain cattle. There are only 2,500 of this race left in the world, and they produce a type of milk that makes his cheese totally unique.
And your cows are not regular milk cows, are they? Or?
Yeah, they're not regular, but they were really milk cows. It's a very old race, Swedish race. They're small, give little milk.
Give little milk, but very good milk, I hope.
Good milk, yes. Yeah. This is protein that's in the milk that makes the cheese. Yeah. There's a higher yield in it. Here you are. Huh?
It's very creamy and buttery in its flavor. Tastes like sweet cream, almost. Oh, come here, you gotta have a look at this.
These are the cheeses I made yesterday. I can have them in the brine 36 hours. And it's a little bit too short, so that's why I put some salt on it.
Salt on top as well?
Yeah, a little bit.
And that will help?
Yes, of course, it goes in. Yeah.
It melts into the cheese completely, or do you have to brush it? You have to brush it off a little bit.
Yeah.
How long do you keep your cheese in here for?
Well, here 2-3 months, and then I go to another one. It goes.
You have your own system here.
Yeah,
if you would have put me in here and say, rotate the cheese, I would have gone like, okay. And you don't wash them. You don't wash them.
Nothing, no. Just when I sell them.
And you don't pasteurize your milk either?
No.
It's unpasteurized from the mountain cows.
Yeah, it's just milk.
Just pure milk.
Yeah.
With a crazy Dutchman in Jokkmokk. Okay, let's try the cheese then.
You like it?
I never had Gouda like this before.
No, it's rare here. And it's the same thing when I teach music sometimes, and when you don't have an idea how it should sound, how can you make music? It's the same with cheese. If you don't have an idea how it should taste, how do you can make cheese?
Oh, it's creamy, rich in flavor, perfect saliness. I can honestly say it's the best Gouda I've ever had. Honestly, it's amazing.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thank you. People like you make my job worthwhile. It's fantastic. Thank you.
Well, it's no secret that reindeer herding is one of the most important things in the Samic tradition. And these are the grazing grounds of the Sirge Sami village. And when you speak of a village, well, normally it's quite small, but this village stretches over an area of 500 kilometers from Luleå all the way up to Norway. Well, right now it seems deserted here, but a week ago there were over 6,000 reindeers in this one corral.
The reindeer is a semi-domesticated animal, and the area which the reindeer graze is enormous. In the old days, the process of gathering the reindeer could take weeks. Today, the herders use more modern methods, such as helicopters and motorcycles for herding, which makes it a lot easier, especially during winter, as the herders care for their animals year-round. The herders stand in the middle of the corral and catch the reindeer with a lasso. There isn't a single part of the animal that isn't used. The meat, the intestines, the fur, and the horns are all utilized. Nothing goes to waste. The reindeer that remain are left alone to breed. During this period of time, the animals are protected by the reindeer herders, and hunting or disturbing them in any formal way is absolutely prohibited.
Nu ska du baka gakko.
Yeah. Now we're making the gakko. So I use a roller with spikes on it. So when your kids go to school, you pack them a piece of gakko in the bag and some dried meat, and they're good for the rest of the day. Gunda runs a restaurant in Jokkmokk serving traditional Sami food. She's going to show me the Sami way to prepare reindeer. Right there, that's the menu. Here, you really get to try almost every part of the animal. Our first course consists of warm bone marrow with some cold sliced reindeer liver. Okay, in it goes. Along with some grated cheese. Lite av varje på.
Ja, tycker det. Fjällposten gör sig fantastiskt till marionärkött.
And it's actually very nice. Det var gott. And this is fresh reindeer's blood. During the main course, we get to try all the other parts of the animal.
Renryggen.
The fat from the tail, the blood dumplings, the tongue, the meat of the back, the heart, the liver, and of course, the broth in which everything has been cooked. And it is absolutely delicious. Oh, it's very good. I'm totally awestruck by the incredible beauty of the wilderness and the generosity of everyone I've met so far. As a symbolic gesture, Gunda provided me with a fresh reindeer heart to cook for Dan and his friend. I'm going to try to fry the heart. And I'm going to make a salad out of it with some nice carrots, some swede. Found some very nice angelica down there. And I've been given some cloudberries. Absolutely amazing. I've got some red onions, got a little bit of honey, some mustard, rapeseed oil, and these little crowberries as well. They have wonderful color, wonderful texture, so they'll be just blended into the salad. I'm going to turn these carrots into thin strips and dress them. I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the swede as well. You can eat raw swede if it's thin like this, and then it's delicious. If it's in big pieces, I prefer it cooked. I am going to cut them into smaller bits as well, and I'm going to fry that together with the angelica and make some sort of a dressing out of it as well. This is the base of our salad, and then it's time for the heart. It does require a bit of cleaning. That's why Gunda's already cleaned out the heart a bit. When she did it, she cut it up like this, cleaned it out good, and on the inside, it would be a good idea just to cut off the veins and all of the other bits and pieces that are tough to eat. I am going to try and fry this in the pan very, very quickly and then slice it thinly, almost like a carpaccio, like a roast beef of heart. So I've cleaned it up properly. There are no veins left or anything that will get in the way of a nice texture. And the heart is really a very, very nice piece of meat. It is a muscle, just like any other muscle on the body. And it is definitely one of the tastiest bits there is. And in this case, with the reindeer, medium rare would be perfect. So that's what I'll do. Here's the heart. A few drops of rapeseed oil to it, some pepper to it, and I'll leave it there to cook for a couple of minutes on each side. Make sure that it's somewhere in between medium and medium rare. I think it's more important now than ever not to overcook the meat, because if I do, this wonderful piece of meat is going to turn into a tough lump of meat instead of being nice and juicy and tender, as it is. Say 2-3 minutes on each side, not much more than that. I've turned off the pan. Let's see how it is. This one is somewhere in between medium rare and rare, but I want to try it here before I go any further. Look at that. Perfect piece of meat. It is absolutely amazing. When it comes to reindeer heart, you definitely do not need to boil this meat for hours and hours and hours in order to be able to eat it. This is one of the most tender pieces of meat I think I've ever had. So while the meat is resting in the pan, I'm going to take care of the rest of the things. That Angelica is very, very potent in its power. It's very perfumed, but it is quite powerful. I'm going to use some of them raw here in the salad. So when you do get one in your mouth, you're going to get the full power. But I am going to use some of it here in the pan to make the dressing for the salad. Now these crowberries, same thing here. A few of them will go in the salad raw, and a few of them will go in the pan. I'm using the same pan, not cleaning it, keeping all of the flavors from the heart in the pan, adding a little bit more of rapeseed oil. And with the Angelica in there, I don't really need any other spices or herbs to make it stand out. I'm just going to add a few things to turn it into a dressing or a sauce. I've got some apple cider vinegar here, a bit of honey. I am going to use some of the juice from the cloudberries in here. Half of them in here, and half of them up here, and we're done. You fallen asleep yet?
Yeah.
Äntligen, ja.
I'm making my way through Jokkmokk to go and visit Greta at the Wilderness Cafe.
I'm Tareq.
Now she is a very special lady who knows a lot about how natural herbs can help you and of course how to cook with them.
We tried some Angelica stuff that you've made and it's absolutely fantastic. That's the Angelica, isn't it? It has a very, very distinct flavor. One,
Yes, it has.
I love it, I really do.
Yeah.
But I've only had it as a schnapps,
Yes.
as a drink, and that's basically it. But I understand it's very good for medicinal purposes as well, isn't it?
The root was a medicine, and nothing evil could come in if you had the Angelica.
Yeah.
So it's a
So you keep
bit of
evil
a-
spirits away.
Yes, it's a bit of a holy plant too. And then we use the stalk and the flower and the leaves for food, and the seeds, of course, for as a spice.
Hey, you should have a look at this. Candied, caramelized Angelica stalk. It's like candy. I never had this before, I must say. Absolutely delicious. Not only tasty, they're also good for you.
Yes, I hope so.
Eva spends her time doing something I like best as a chef, making something out of the wild things she gathers from nature, like pickled pine shoots, flour made out of tree bark, and rowanberry jam are among her favorites.
What is it?
It's udon.
Udon.
Udon, and what is that in English?
I have no idea. But it's got a flavour that doesn't even relate to berries at all.
No?
It has a flavour that more stretches your mind towards an animal of some kind.
Some people say that it's poisonous, but...
It's poisonous? Well, it's poisonous and you're letting me eat this?
No, it's a saying. It's a rumour.
You're trying to kill me already?
No, it's just a rumour. And the rumour comes from that they have tried to make liquor out of the berry. It didn't turn well out. Then they said that berry is poisonous.
Oh.
But there's no poison. It's just that it's...
It's just an animal that crawled in there and died and make it taste very funny. Yeah. I haven't tried any berry like this before, and it really bothers me.
You will think about this all the rest of the day.
This berry puzzles me. This is a new flavour to me, completely new. I got to bring some, sleep on it, and eat them again in the morning. This is like your backyard.
This is one of my backyards. I have a lot of them.
No wonder you can make those products.
Yes. I have my favorite spice.
Okay.
Which you should be a little bit careful, because if you eat too much of it, it's not healthy.
Really?
But if you eat a little bit of it, it's an aphrodisiacum.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Let's go.
Let's go. And I see some here. I don't know if you need it, but it's a special plant. This is called squattram in Swedish.
Okay.
And in English it's Labrador tea.
Labrador tea.
And it has a very strong smell. If you do like this, it smells very strong.
Oh.
Like almost a male scent. I don't know.
It's very nice.
It's very nice. But if you take a little bit of it, I dry some of these leaves,
how much?
and I can chop them up a little bit as a spice, and then it's an aphrodisiac.
Really?
It gets you. You get a little bit energy, and you get a little bit happy. And it's nice.
If I want to go out and be a little bit extra attractive, maybe. What do I do? Like, do I put one of these behind my ear, or do I just rub it in, or?
Well, you should try. You should try. I haven't had the opportunity to. I don't have the need to use it.
Tell you what, I'll take one and rub, and you take another one and you rub, and we'll tell each other tomorrow.
Okay, we'll do that.
Dan is taking me and his friend Nils Edwin to hard-to-pronounce Lake Tjatjejauр. I've been told that visitors to Jokkmokk are really surprised that you can drink the water straight out of the lake.
Here we go.
And because this area is so remote, the fishing is like it used to be in most places. We don't have to wait long before the first fish are caught.
First net coming up. It's about 150 meters long, the net going towards land. First one. This is the Arctic char. First fish, first net, and it is definitely a beauty.
Due to the perfect conditions here, the liver of the Arctic char is very light in color and extremely rich in taste.
Oh, it's big, that one, isn't it? That's a beauty.
I would say it's most similar to foie gras and is considered a rare delicacy among gourmets.
Oh, look at this one. Ho, ho, ho. Now that is a beauty, isn't it? This is absolute supreme quality. This is something you will never, ever, ever find in the shop. I don't care what shop it is. This you'll have to come to Jokkmokk and fish for yourself to experience. Absolutely amazing. What a fantastic day and what an amazing catch. Completely unreal to have this kind of quality fish in front of you. And we're also saving the liver from the char. It's very light in color, very fat and very rich. I'm going to keep this for cooking a little bit later. The rest gets rinsed away. Do you ever eat this fish raw?
No.
Never?
No. Why eat raw fish when you can cook it? I'm not a sushi lover.
You're not a sushi lover?
No.
Has to be tried. Sure you don't want some?
Completely sure.
I'll do like the bears do. I mean, look at the color of it. It's meant to be eaten straight away. Now you got interested as well, didn't you?
He thinks it's edible.
It is wonderful. You should have tried this a long time ago.
There you go.
The fish we caught are going to make up my next recipe. The pleasure of being in Jokkmokk is that I only have to look at what's around me to find all of the rest of the fresh ingredients that I need for this dish.
I have some almond potatoes boiling over here. I picked some really nice lingonberries because they're everywhere. I'm literally sitting in a field of lingonberries. A few apples, got a leek, some butter, and of course these little beauties. The buds from the birch that I'm going to toast. And when they're fresh like this, you see the green, they sort of taste the same way as a pine tree smells. And while they're roasting, I'm going to cut up the fish. Now, I'm going to add a lot of butter to the pan and the fish. And I think the potatoes are just about done. Well, roughly 1 more minute or so to cook. If you're cooking over a campfire or just on the stove like this, then just add a lot of butter and keep basting the fish with the melted butter. That melted butter will help to spread the heat evenly on the fish, and it'll also give the skin a nice crisp. It's a humbling experience to come to a place like this, and I think every man, woman, child should experience this at least once, because you will never forget it, ever. Yep, the backbone came out easily, just like that. Means the fish is done. This butter is just way too good to throw out. I'm actually going to pour it over the potatoes. I have some of the liver here from the same fish. What I'm going to do is make a apple lingonberry liver sort of saute to go with the fish. Quite simple dish, very much inspired by these surroundings. That fish, that's the best char I've ever tasted in my life. I don't think I've ever had that quality fish before. It's unreal how good this is.
Visiting Jokkmokk has been a very humbling experience. It's as if you go back in time to witness how people survived for thousands of years. You get an understanding of how to work with nature and wildlife in ways that doesn't harm the environment and provides the local food culture with an incredible variety of delicious things to eat.
And it is definitely a beauty. So if you ever decide to get up north, I certainly hope that you give Jokkmokk a chance, because it will be an experience of a lifetime.